Everything we've done's led up to right now. Right now. Because legacy are full of legends. You can become a legend today, boys. Put your stamp on history. Put your stamp on a legacy. It is going to take all of us. All of us. Men, be not afraid. Do not be afraid to be a legend.
Welcome to OPA Podcast, episode 22. I'm one of your hosts, Jason O. Antoine Winfield is still amazing.
My name is Larranz. I guess everyone's complaining about pass interference, but not about delay of game. Guider.
Griffin.
Wyatt is unfortunately not here tonight, but we'll proceed on. First, we're going to recap the Minnesota versus Penn State game from last weekend. And, beautiful.
That's it?
I've learned now there's nothing more terrifying than Tanner Morgan the week directly following a bye week.
Well, today was the 15th all-time meeting with Penn State. The Gophers are trailing in the series 9-6, but they're 4-4 in Minneapolis. Improved to 9-0, first place in the Big Ten West. Penn State's now 8-1, 5-1 in the Big Ten East. The win was Minnesota's first home victory against a top 5 opponent since upsetting number 1 Michigan 16-0 on October 22nd, 1977. And the game marked the 17th time Minnesota faced an opponent when both schools were ranked in the top 25 of the AP Top 25.
And in the CFB, we're ranked 8th now, and Penn State is now at 9.
So basically, we're good. Because now we finally played a real team.
Playing a real team is hilarious because now we have more quality wins than the 2 teams immediately ahead of us. Actually, no, I take it back. The 3 immediately ahead of us, all of whom have 1 loss, but we're fine. We're fine.
Just some stats here. So for quarterback play, Sean Clifford was 23 for 43, 380 yards. With 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions.
Throwing the ball at the ground, the only receivers that could catch for him were Freiermuth and Hamler. Ross was dropping them in the end zone. He was throwing balls into the turf.
Yeah, Uncle Joe had him scared.
Uncle Joe!
Ooh, he was seeing ghosts. I was like, wait a second. I remember, what was it, that QB draw that it took him 3 seconds to run the ball. Like, I'm not saying I wasn't grateful, but at the same time, I was watching. I'm like, Sean, run the ball.
But then, our Lord and Savior, Tanner Morgan, is 18 for 20 for 339 yards, 3 touchdowns, with 17 yards average per pass.
And Chris Bell should have caught that ball. One of those balls that was missed. Chris Bell should have caught that. But we'll take that.
But then Rashad Bateman had a field day, 7 receptions for 203 yards. And then Ty had 7 receptions for 104 yards. And Chris Oppenbelt had 3 for 31, but all 3 have caught touchdowns.
Look, I love talking about the Gophers and our offense, but I also like talking about Penn State's failures a little bit more. So the Nittany Lions committed their first red zone turnover this season. Thank you, Jordan Howden. Penn State entered the game ranked 2nd nationally, allowing 68.4 rush yards per game. Minnesota rushed 19 times for 81 yards in the first half alone and finished with 121 and a TD on 40 rushes.
By Mr. Seth Green.
Thank you. And they had not allowed a first quarter touchdown all season, and they allowed 2. So that's just what I like to talk about. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm learning from Larranz on how to be petty.
Hey, being petty, it's good. You know what I realized watching that game is Penn State played a defense that, as much as I know Penn State fans wouldn't want to hear this, was very akin to Michigan, which is to say, against an offense that can't hit them back, it's fine. Which is why they were like second in the nation in sacks, and everyone was just horrible because their entire idea of defense is we're going to send everyone to eat your quarterback, and we are going to trust our 4 and 5-star athletes in the secondary to play man on your receivers. What they didn't know, and I don't know why they didn't know this, because in James Franklin's press conferences all week, he had said, without a doubt, Minnesota has the best receiving core they faced. For some reason, they decided, we're going to put Tariq Castro-Fields on Rashad Bateman and see what happens.
They
And
also
after-
decided that they were wanting to blitz on the first drive.
Yeah.
Which Tanner picked up and
Easily.
slung it to Rashad for 66 yards for a tutty.
It's so easy for Soroka and Rossi to both see that. The corner comes up. The DB goes on to Tyler Johnson, because I don't blame him for picking up Tyler Johnson. But the free safety can't get over in time to Rashad Bateman. 4.4 speed? Bye.
Okay, bye.
That's just too easy.
You were just playing pitch and catch. I think the unsung heroes of this game were our running backs picking up the blitz.
Rodney taking some heat.
I said they brought that first touchdown, they brought that corner blitz, and Rodney said, "You shall not pass." And I said, that's my running back right there. That right there. Also, Curtis Dunlap. We've given him
Curtis.
crap this year, but Curtis Dunlap was eating this game, and I have never been more proud. Watching him and Daniel Fa'alele just pancake dudes made my life better. My skin got cleared, my checkbook got balanced. Like, it was beautiful. Micah Parsons was like, Yetur Gross Matos. I don't think we heard his name once. And
Just at the beginning when they told him he wasn't starting.
Wow.
Oh.
And also, I'm just confused at this point. And I feel bad for Penn State in this sense. Why do people keep throwing anywhere near Antoine Winfield? Why?
You don't have to throw anywhere near Antoine Winfield. He will just show up.
I mean, that's fair. But that first play, the first interception, what did he think was going to happen?
He thought a receiver other than KJ Hamler was going to make a play.
Oh, yeah.
And a side note, I put this in my Facebook cover photo, but is there a particular reason why Jahan Dotson decided to fall at the 5-yard line on that last really big passing play that Penn State had.
I don't know, but I ain't mad.
I'm not mad at him, but as I
mean-
said, I am convinced that the ghost of Prince tripped him. I am convinced. You cannot prove me otherwise.
Is this the play you're talking about that they're complaining about pass interference? It was
No, it was
No, this was like the 70-yard run across the field.
right.
Oh,
hit
yeah.
him right there, and I forget who was, but somebody missed the tackle,
St.
and
Juice.
St. Juice missed the tackle, and dude was off to the races, and then he tripped at like the 5, and I was like,
Let that purple rain fall, boys.
I was like, it was the ghost of Prince. That is all. But much like the team, can we move on from this? Because that championship season is over. We got our bail.
Yep, we're now 0-0 in the Iowa season. So your 8th-ranked Minnesota Golden Gophers are facing the 2020 Iowa Hawkeyes at Kinnick this Saturday at 3 p.m. Central kickoff. The Vegas Lions are that they're favoring Iowa 3 points, and then the over/under is 45.
That's a lot of points.
It is.
The over-under should be 20. Yeah, I'm certain. Not certain. I am 80% sure we lose this weekend.
Now, what makes you say that?
Because this is the most dangerous version of Iowa. A meaningless game against a top 10 team in November at Kinnick. It's the most dangerous version of Iowa because they have nothing left to lose. Because they're going bowling, it's just a question of whether they're going to be going to New York or Florida. They know they can't win the West, so they just want to ruin somebody's season.
And that's us.
And what would give a Hawkeye fan more joy than ruining Minnesota's perfect season? What would be more perfect, Jason? Nothing. And I know all of the Wisconsin fans in the world are praying for Iowa this weekend. All of that energy is going into helping Iowa pull this thing off. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna lose this game for no real reason.
No, man, we're 0-0 in the Iowa championship season. We're going to make sure we work our butts off to make sure we're 1-0 by the end of this Saturday.
Oh, and then there's the other thing where there is going to be a certain someone lined up right across from Sam Schluter this particular game. His name is A.J. Epinesa. Or, as Sam Schluter called him last year, Daddy.
Ooh.
Who?
A.J. Epinesa is a problem. This dude is a problem. He's basically Chase Young light. He's Diet Chase Young.
Lol.
And last year, much like Illinois got Rob Smith fired, A.J. Epinesa got Sam Schluter benched. So that's gonna be fun.
If we can get the ball out as fast as Tanner did this past game, I don't see too much of an issue.
Yeah, but see the difference between Iowa and Penn
It's
State.
those hip workouts inspired by Dak.
Those suavemente hip
Suavemente.
workouts. Exactly. No, the difference between Iowa and Penn State is that I was not stupid. I was saying we just gonna play zone, and we're just gonna make you just march. They're playing our defense, or rather, we're playing their defense, and it's at some point they're gonna assume Tanner Morgan's gonna fuck up, which I think is a fair assessment. It's a good assumption. We did the same thing with Sean Clifford. Just assume if you keep him going for a 10-12 play drive, he's going to mess up at some point. So they're going to play zone. They're not going to be dumb enough to play man on our receivers, because last year, even though they won, 2 of our receivers went over 100 yards. So they know how terrifying we are. So they're not going to do that. My question is, what's Iowa's defense going to do? Because they're basically a slightly better Northwestern.
You mean offense?
Offense, rather. Is a slightly better Northwestern.
They're going to make
You just
Stanley.
pissed off a lot of Iowa fans with that comment.
He ain't wrong.
I mean, when you have trouble scoring on Rutgers, when you have trouble scoring on Purdue, and now when you have trouble scoring on Penn State, we scored more points against Penn State in the first quarter than Iowa did in the entire game against Penn State. Let's be more clear. We scored more points against Penn State in the first 2 drives than Iowa scored against Penn State in the entire game. I don't even know why I mentioned that. Anyway.
So then what are the keys to the game then? If the Gophers have to win this game, what are the keys from all of us? Maybe Griffin will start.
Offense, because I'm not worried about our defense stopping Nate Stanley. They don't have Hawkinson. They don't have Noah Fant. They don't. I mean, they have Smith. What's his name? Smith Marciette?
Yeah, Amir Smith Marset.
I mean, he's aight, but we got our whole defense, and we got Joe Rossi and Kirk Soraka in their respective rooms watching film. I ain't too worried.
Larranz.
Also, I want to add red zone offense to this, because even though we're doing I think that if we want to come out of Kinnick with a win, we will need touchdowns, not field goals.
I am going to take the approach that I'm sure Penn State wanted to do before they realized that Antoine Winfield Jr. was all about giving them that smoke. And say, score quickly, score often, and hang in there. Because the easiest way to deal with a horribly disgusting home crowd that Iowa is going to have for this game, which is something Minnesota has not experienced yet this year, because this is going to be the first hostile environment that not only knows that Minnesota is good, but still thinks their team has a shot. Like, they knew the chances of them beating Penn State was pretty low, but they knew Penn State was good. They know that Minnesota is good, but they think they have a shot, and I don't blame them. Minnesota has to take the energy that went into that historic win against Penn State, double it, think about revenge, take in the fact that somehow at number 8 in the country, we are still underdogs on a team that can't score. And just go out firing. I don't know. I imagine they're going to take away our wide receivers in this game. So we're going to see. It has to be a running back day.
Actually, that was what I was going to say. Make this a game for running backs to get back into things, because Penn State, they sort of took a step back because we all knew Penn State has a really good run defense. So it was grinding yards. So I think this is the game where Rodney, Shannon, and Mo will get back to 100-yard each kind of player game. And that's going to be vital. So
also,
our boys in the
Rodney
trenches.
Smith, good chance he'll go over 1,000 yards this weekend, which is great.
Congrats.
There's an equally likely chance that Rashad could go over 1,000 yards receiving this weekend. Who does it first? Let's see who Iowa wants to beat them.
Rodney.
I said, I don't know now. Griffin, who would you rather? If you were an opposing defense, would you rather Minnesota beat you running them over or air raiding you?
Air raiding, because they've been trying to tackle Rodney for the past 6 years.
You right.
Nice.
You right. No, for me, I'm like, I would much rather Minnesota beat you running the ball, only because it would mean very long, sustained drives, as opposed to 14 points in 3 minutes.
And eat the clock.
And I'm like, cool, you want to take a 12-play drive? Fine, we can do it right back. But if it's score, shoot, nah, I'm having them beat. I am bracketing everyone. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to trust my front four to at least hold them to 6 yards of carry. Anyway, can we do predictions? Because I got to go.
Yep. So Wyatt says 28-24, Gophers on top.
I say 21-17 Iowa.
Let's go 34-20 Gophers.
31-28 Golden Gophers.
Our defense going to let Iowa score 28 points.
Yeah, garbage time.
Second team defense.
That's disrespectful. Anyway, well, that's all I needed.
All right. This is going to end this episode of Opa Podcast, episode 22. So thanks for joining us, everyone. And again, I'm one of your hosts, Jason O.
Larranz going to Pasadena Guider.
Griffin, I'm going to be freezing my butt off at Kinnick this weekend. Most.
And we'll see you guys next time. And
Oh.